Imagine sitting down with a refreshing glass of something cool and vibrant, maybe a berry smoothie or a crisp herbal tea, and feeling that sip spark a little joy in your day. Drinks have this unique way of comforting us, energizing us, or even transporting us to a memory, don't they? In this story, you're going to follow Danny, an 84-year-old who discovered how the right drinks, paired with some clever food choices, transformed his life. His journey is packed with health wisdom that's practical and easy to weave into your own routine. You'll hear about 5 food hacks, inspired by Dr. William Li, that Danny swears by for keeping his energy high and his body thriving. Please, if you love this kind of life-changing insight, like, share, comment, and subscribe to join our community of curious folks looking to live better every day. Ready to dive into Danny's world and see what you can borrow for yours? Danny wasn't always the sprightly 84-year-old you'd picture today. Back in his late 70s, he felt the weight of time creeping in, his steps slower, his mornings foggy. He'd sip his usual coffee, strong and black, but it didn't lift him like it used to. One day, flipping through a health magazine at his local library, he stumbled across an article about telomeres, those tiny caps at the ends of our chromosomes that protect our DNA. The piece mentioned Dr. William Li, a physician and scientist who's spent years researching how food and lifestyle can keep those telomeres long and strong, slowing the aging process. Danny's curiosity perked up. Could something as simple as what he drank or ate really make a difference at his age? Dr. Li's work wasn't just academic jargon to Danny. It felt like a lifeline. Li, a Harvard-trained doctor, has this knack for breaking down complex science into ideas you can actually use. He's all about using food as medicine, not in a preachy way, but with practical tips that fit into real life. Danny learned that telomeres shorten naturally as we age, but things like stress, poor diet, or not moving enough can speed that up. Li's research, though, showed that certain foods and drinks could protect those telomeres, keeping your cells youthful longer. For Danny, this wasn't about chasing a fountain of youth. It was about feeling good enough to enjoy his daily walks or laugh with his grandkids. Have you ever thought about how the little choices you make, like what's in your cup, could add up to big changes? Danny started small, which is something you can do too. One of Li's big tips was to lean into colorful fruits and vegetables, especially berries. Danny swapped his morning coffee for a smoothie some days, blending blueberries, strawberries, and a splash of almond milk. The first time he tried it, the tart sweetness hit his tongue like a burst of summer, waking him up better than caffeine ever did. Berries, Li explained, are packed with antioxidants, compounds that shield your cells from damage and help keep those telomeres intact. Danny didn't need to understand every chemical detail. He just noticed he felt sharper, lighter. Why not try tossing a handful of berries into your next drink and see how it feels? This wasn't a one-and-done change for Danny. He began to see his kitchen as a playground for these 5 food hacks Li championed. Another hack was embracing omega-3 fatty acids, found in things like flax seeds and walnuts. Danny started sprinkling ground flax into his smoothies, giving them a nutty depth that made each sip feel hearty. He'd read that omega-3s help reduce inflammation, which can wear down telomeres over time. One morning, blending his drink, he chuckled, remembering how his wife used to tease him for being stubborn about new foods. Now, here he was, grinding seeds like a pro. What's a small tweak you could make to your routine that might surprise you with how good it feels? Drinking more green tea became Danny's next step, another of Li's hacks. Li's wisdom pointed to green tea's catechins, compounds that act like tiny bodyguards for your DNA. Danny wasn't much of a tea guy at first, but he found a brand with a smooth, grassy flavor that grew on him. He'd sit on his porch, the warm mug cradling his hands, watching the neighborhood wake up. That ritual became his quiet moment to think, to feel connected to his body's needs. He even started sharing cups with his neighbor, swapping stories over steaming mugs. Ever tried swapping out a soda or coffee for something new, like green tea? It might just become your new favorite pause in the day. Danny's journey wasn't all smooth sailing, and that's okay. Changing habits at any age takes grit. He missed his sugary colas sometimes, especially on hot afternoons when the fizz called his name. But Lee's advice wasn't about deprivation. It was about crowding out the bad stuff with better choices. Danny found sparkling water with a squeeze of lemon hit that fizzy craving without the sugar crash. The bubbles danced on his tongue, crisp and clean, and he felt proud for outsmarting his old habits. Lee's research backed this up, showing that cutting sugar helps keep telomeres from fraying. What's one drink you love that you could give a healthier twist? The fourth hack Danny embraced was all about whole grains, which Lee says support steady blood sugar and keep your cells humming happily. Danny wasn't big on cooking, but he found a simple trick, blending oats into his smoothies for a creamy texture that kept him full longer. One day, he tossed in some cinnamon, and the warm spice reminded him of his mom's oatmeal from childhood, cozy and comforting. That drink became his go-to before his morning walks, fueling him to chat with dog walkers and wave at kids on bikes. It's amazing how a small change can ripple out, isn't it? Could a new ingredient in your drink spark a memory or boost your day? Danny's final hack was diving into leafy greens, which Lee calls powerhouses for telomere health. Instead of just eating salads, Danny got creative, blending spinach into his drinks for a vibrant green kick. At first, he winced, expecting it to taste like a lawn, but with a banana and some apple juice, it was surprisingly sweet, like a secret garden in a glass. He started feeling more energy, enough to tinker in his shed, fixing old radios like he used to. Lee's work suggests greens deliver vitamins and fiber that protect your DNA from stress. Ever thought about sneaking some greens into your next smoothie? You might be amazed at how easy it is. What kept Danny going was how these changes felt personal, not like following a rule book. He'd think about his grandkids, wanting to be around to see them grow, maybe teach them to fish like he did as a boy. One afternoon, blending a smoothie, he caught himself humming an old tune, something he hadn't done in years. That's the thing about these 5 food hacks. They're not just about science, they're about living more fully. Danny wasn't chasing numbers or test results. He was chasing moments, laughter, the stuff that makes life rich. What's a moment you'd love to have more energy for in your day? Connecting with Dr. Lee's wisdom felt like having a guide for Danny. Lee's not the kind of doctor who stays in a lab. He's out there sharing tips on shows, in books, making it real for folks like you and me. His focus on foods like berries, greens, and omega-3s comes from years of studying how our bodies fight aging at the cellular level. But Danny didn't need a PAAHDAAEDDDHEHE to get it. He just needed to feel the difference. After a few months, his walks got longer, his mind clearer, and he even started sleeping better. It's like his body was saying, "Thanks for the good stuff." Have you noticed how your body talks to you when you treat it right? Danny's story isn't about perfection. Some days, he'd still sneak a cookie or skip his smoothie, and that's human. What mattered was the pattern, the way these drinks and foods became his allies. He'd tell you it's like tending a garden. You don't see the growth every day, but one morning, it's blooming. Lee's hacks gave Danny tools to nurture himself, and they can do the same for you. Maybe it's starting with one new drink a week, like a green tea or a berry blend. What's one small step you could take today to feel a bit more vibrant? This journey also taught Danny about community. He started sharing his smoothie recipes with friends at the senior center, swapping tips over clinking glasses. They'd laugh about their flops, like the time Danny's kale smoothie tasted like regret, but they kept experimenting. That's what makes this so powerful. It's not just about you alone in your kitchen. It's about sharing what works, learning together. Why not share one of these hacks with a friend or family member? You could make it fun. Maybe blend a smoothie together and see who comes up with the wildest combo. Looking back, Danny's glad he took that first step, swapping coffee for a smoothie that one morning. It wasn't about becoming someone new. It was about rediscovering the Danny who loved life, who felt curious and capable. You don't have to be 84 to start this. You can begin right now with whatever's in your fridge. These 5 food hacks, berries, omega-3s, green tea, whole grains, and greens, are like keys to unlock more of your own spark. Dr. Lee's wisdom is a gift, showing you how simple choices can add up to years of feeling good. So, what's stopping you from trying one today? Here's the thing. You're not just watching Danny's story. You're part of this journey too. Grab a glass, toss in something colorful, and see how it feels to nourish yourself a little differently. Share your thoughts in the comments. What drink are you trying next? Like this video, subscribe, and pass it along to someone who needs a nudge to feel their best. Let's build a community where we lift each other up, swapping recipes and cheering on small wins. Your next sip could be the start of something amazing, so go for it. You've got this.